Hi again then guys, and welcome to episode 40 of Weekend Warriors, the review series for the sports cars and sports coupes of GranTurismo, and on some occasions we actually include some concept cars in this...
Hello, Amanda.
Huh?
Your entire life you've been afraid of stairs.
No, actually I'm pretty sure I haven't, and my name isn't Amanda.
Oh, wrong trap, sorry. Hello, Michael. You've spent your entire life reviewing cars that nobody cares about. But now, you will be forced to make a choice. Will you review this BMW as if it were the best car in the game and convince me why you should be reviewing cars? Or will I be forced to kill your small dog with an elaborate series of rubber bands, rusty spoons, and lemon juice?
I don't actually have a dog though.
Oh, well, explain it to me anyway. Convince me. Please continue.
Okay then. So the BMW Concept Tii is, as you can pretty obviously tell from the visuals, based on the 135i Coupe, which we also have featured on the game. Now the price of this concept version doesn't actually jump that much over the cost of the normal car. This is still pretty reasonable 70 grand, which for a concept vehicle is pretty good. That's actually cheaper than, for instance, a Chevy Silverado SST concept, and this is a quicker car than that, both in a straight line and around corners. But of course, there's no point in paying 70 grand for a car that doesn't actually have much use, and that is always a danger for concept cars. Is it actually going to be useful in practice, not just a car which looks good, but doesn't necessarily fully deliver on those looks? There are certain vehicles on the game that are unfortunately like that. They look a lot better than they actually turn out to be.
Yeah.
So the question arises, what do you get from the Tii concept, which is a pretty obvious homage to BMW's probably most iconic turbo car of all time, the 2002 Turbo, which we also have on the game. Now, as far as its engine, it actually shares similar specs, in some cases exactly the same in fact, as the 135i. The engine is a 3-litre turbo, it's rear-wheel drive as most BMWs are. You're looking at 641 horsepower, 499 foot-pounds of torque, and the car weighs in at 1,221 kilos. Now, on a game like GranTurismo, it's easy to underestimate, really, and undervalue a car that has really good numbers. Now, to put this into perspective, it has the kind of power which you would typically expect from a supercar, and it actually has more power than all of the BMW M3 models that are featured on the game. Now, whether or not it should, or whether or not it deserves to, is a totally different set of questions. The fact is, though, it is one of the most powerful BMW road cars you can get. It's more powerful, as I said, than all of the M3s, and although it's not as powerful, of course, as an M5 or an M4, it's still got a lot of power for what is still a very small, compact, relatively unassuming looking coupe, even in this sportier concept form.
Interesting.
Now, in what ways is it better than the 135i? In what ways is it maybe just different, or maybe even worse in some ways? Well, in terms of being worse, there's nothing really that makes this car fall short. It has basically every advantage of the 135i, but it has a more exclusive feel to it. It has the livery change when compared to that road-going model with the twin stripes, the carbon hood, that kind of thing. And although you don't have the same kind of visual upgrade options as with the 135i, it does certainly have a more track-focused image to the car. And for BMW enthusiasts, especially fans of their older models like the 2002 Turbo, this is a nice callback to that lineage. And when you add on top of that the fact that this car offers all of that power and torque in a car which, all things considered, doesn't weigh a huge amount, and has a pretty reasonable PP level of 578.
He said PP. That's funny.
Yeah. So at that PP level, which is, as I said, pretty reasonable for this car, the performance that it does actually offer you is very good. Not just for a smaller coupe in general, but also more specifically for a concept car, because many of the concept cars on the game don't have a huge amount of tuning potential. There are some which stand out, like the Silverado, which I mentioned earlier, but apart from those select few, many of the concept cars tend to be just okay, or not really that essential a purchase. Now, is this car an essential purchase? Not necessarily, but then again, neither is the 135i in normal form. What they do offer, though, is all of the advantages of something like an M3, but in a smaller, more compact package, and with the advantage of being able to upgrade the aspiration, which you cannot do with the M3, thus allowing it to have more power and to be quicker. This is around a 250 mph car, as is the road-going version. That is impressive performance for a concept car. So overall, it's a car which is definitely worth checking out, and hopefully that review was good enough to survive, I guess, or kill the dog, or I don't know. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.